both of yours first producing project under Excellent Cadaver. Tell us about the whole attraction to it. How did the part
Sure.
speak to her, and et cetera, et cetera?
Sure. So we were submitted the original draft of the script called Red, White, and Water towards the end of Jen's 3-year hiatus. And so much of what we were reading at the time was super traditionally structured and predictable and sort of checking all the right boxes. Things felt perfectly resolved and you know what I mean? Like the characters' journeys are perfectly redemptive. Things that didn't feel particularly inspiring or relatable. When we got this piece, it was the opposite of all of that. And so much of the story lives in the subtext. And after years of doing bigger studio movies, Jen was itching to do something small and intimate. It was a true character piece. We could feel the mood on the page. You know, we reacted right away. And, oh, sorry.
No, she's called it a personal story. Can you tell us more on why she connected to it?
Totally. I think Jen lives a glorious but strange life, and like most public figures. And I think she has always grappled with the idea of wondering where she belongs and where home is, and has experienced, like all of us, isolation. And she identified with Lynsey immediately.
And then Brian Tyree Henry, tell us how he came on board. I know how he came on board, but you tell us.
Yes. So Brian and Lila went to school together. I believe he was in grad school when she was undergrad, so they had been friends for well over 15 years. And I know she always dreamt of working with him, and she thought of him immediately when she read the draft. And like everybody here, whether you guys have seen the movie or not, I'm sure you're familiar with Atlanta, maybe some of his stage work. Brian is a total revelation. And we knew that when we cast him. But I think seeing them on set together every day in the mix, we were like mind blown. Their chemistry is so singular, and they just have that kind of ineffable connection that is really hard to come by. So yes, we feel extraordinarily lucky that we snagged Brian for this.
So the Causeway is a bridge. It's an extremely long bridge in New Orleans that runs from Metairie, which is a suburb of New Orleans, all the way over to Mandeville. But can you tell the audience, for those who haven't seen it, the further significance of the title?
Yes, I mean, obviously New Orleans is a central character in the film. And it was such a massive privilege to shoot in New Orleans. It's such a singular American city. The culture is resilient and vivacious and deeply soulful, and the people of New Orleans have suffered and survived so much. And so it made sense that we would include a piece of the city in the title, and I hope that ultimately we represented the city authentically. You know, New Orleans as a hometown, and not New Orleans as sort of a caricature, like the Mardi Gras New Orleans. So yes, I don't know if that answers the question.
Tell us about working with local vets in preparing for the film.
Oh yeah, I mean, wow, it was game changing. There was no way we would have ever decided to make the movie if we didn't have access to the local vets. Lila and Jen spent hours with these communities, listening to their stories. And I think we were all super moved by their participation, and hope that we honored their stories, and that the movie will do those stories justice.
I'm always fascinated when a major star such as Jenifer works with a director who's making their feature directorial debut. Lila's done episodic TV before this. She's done great work on the New York stage. what was it about her pitch to both of you, because she was attached to this beforehand, what was it about her pitch that made you go, we gotta go with her, we gotta go, you had absolute faith?
Totally. I mean, empowering new and gifted artists was a major mission of ours in starting the company. And within seconds of meeting Lila, it was clear she was a force. She's sharp, she's passionate, she had an immediate point of view. I also think, like Jen, she had a very personal connection to the material, which she spoke to beautifully. We were moved by her conviction, and I think, pairing this kind of material with a first-time filmmaker felt like a daring and very exciting experiment for us.
Now, there is a wonderful actor in this, Russell Harvard. Tease a little about who he plays, if you can, and how that came to be. Because that part wasn't originally written in that direction.
I'm afraid that if I answer the question, I'll spoil. So I will be brief.
Okay.
But what I will say is, like almost all the supporting cast, he's a brilliant actor whose work Lila witnessed on stage, and without sharing too much, he felt like the perfect fit for this role, and his work with Jen, his scene with Jen, I think is probably, for me, the most compelling in the film.
And then, before we go, one other thing is, what's really fascinating is how it deals with the psyche of a vet who is just, really, they come home, they are significantly in pain, but yet for some reason she wants to re-enlist. Can you talk about that?
Yes. One of the big things we learned throughout our research phase and in the making of the film is that recovery looks different for everybody, and you can't generalize about trauma, and we all carry it differently. In this case, both the lead characters carry it in a way that is internal and sometimes subtle, and I think with this particular character, the obvious thought is that her trauma is directly linked to her time in Afghanistan, but she's also traumatized from her life at home. And I think the part of her that feels motivated to return is the part of her that felt like it was easier to be there than home. She's almost picking her poison. So yes, again, without spoiling too much, I will leave it there.
So, your next project with Jen is the R-rated comedy No Hard Feelings, still shooting in Boston?
Yes, no, it's shooting in New York. We have another week and a half.
Okay.
Almost there.
Do you have, no.
Recording in progress.
Bob, I'd like to solve the puzzle. Oh, God.
Recording in progress.
Yay, you're back. Okay. Final question before this breaks up again.
Hit me. I'm here.
Before we lose you on Mars here. So, is there a dream project for you guys that you're looking for, or she wants to play? We understand Elizabeth Holmes. That's not going to happen now. But a dream project, something.
Not to sound corny, but every movie we make feels like a dream. Like, making movies is such an enormous privilege. I think, to mention one that we are particularly excited about, there is a book called Die My Love that Lynn Ramsey is adapting and directing that we will produce with Martin Scorsese. We are pretty floored that has come together, and can't wait to bring it to life for everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the producer of Causeway, Justine Polsky.